We start today with the chaos and confusion at the U.S.-Mexico border. President Biden has until the end of the day to respond to the Supreme Court's pause on the end of a Trump-era border policy known as Title 42. The Supreme Court granted a stay as several Republican-led states argued it caused unprecedented calamity at the border. The numbers do seem to back that up. They are unprecedented and growing. In some places, especially one Texas county, authorities dealing with an unprecedented number of human smuggling cases. Take a look.
Why'd you stop? Why didn't you stop at the checkpoint?
Okay, who are all the people laying down in the back?
They said they needed a ride and said that their car was broke down a couple miles back.
Oh, okay. You don't know them, though?
I don't.
Well, it is pushing resources to the brink, and new today, one sheriff is sharing a letter he sent to the very top, the head of DHS. Correspondent Allie Bradley joins us live from the border this evening. Allie, what did that sheriff have to say?
Yeah, so first of all, Nichole, we're here in the Yuma sector where we are continuously seeing people stream across. You can see there's about 50 migrants here. We talked to a couple of them from Cuba saying they've been out here all day waiting for Border Patrol to arrive. As you can see, Border Patrol is still not out here, which is one of the concerns for these law enforcement officials along the southern border. And a Colorado representative actually reached out in April to Alejandro Mayorkas, the head of DHS, the secretary there, saying his constituents believed that Alejandro Mayorkas had committed treason. Well, now, an elected official in Texas, a sheriff there, echoing that accusation. So Kinney County Sheriff Brad Coe actually sent a letter to Alejandro Mayorkas and the Biden administration claiming Mayorkas is a traitor for his handling of the southern border, or lack thereof, so Sheriff Coe says, calling him an enemy of the Constitution of the United States of America, saying that he should be advising the president that there is a massive illegal immigration issue along the southern border and utilizing all of the resources to secure the border. Now, the sheriff said human and drug smuggling pursuits are absolutely crippling his community right now and says the border crisis is being caused by the administration and something has to change.
When he took that oath, he swore to protect the people. He's not doing that. His oath is to the Constitution, not to the Democratic Party, not to President Biden. It's to the people of the United States. And he's failed. He's failed miserably.
When Congressman Kevin McCarthy visited the southern border last month, he said that he expects Alejandro Mayorkas would resign by the time the new Congress convenes, which is January 3rd. Now, he added that the investigations could lead to his impeachment that would begin on day one. Now, as we come back out here live, you can see Border Patrol has arrived. We're getting some of these people in these buses. So this is what they're dealing with right now, Nichole, as facilities are above capacity right now in the Yuma sector. So that is an issue here for them. Now, I did reach out to DHS to find out if Alejandro Mayorkas had any response to Sheriff Coe, but I have not yet heard back. And Sheriff Coe says he has not heard anything either.
All right, so Allie, they're in Yuma saying that they're above capacity. The mayor says they are going to take new action. What's happening?
Yeah, so they're taking some unprecedented action here, Nichole, to kind of release the pressure a little bit. So in the coming days, what the mayor says that we can expect to see is that migrants will actually be released into the city streets of Yuma. He's saying that at least 50 migrants as early, they have not happened today. We have not seen those street releases, but CBP is telling me it could happen as early as tomorrow. So something we're certainly watching for. But I want to show you some video here of when I was down here in December of 2021. So about a year ago, they actually were forced to do street releases during that time as well, Nichole. So we were seeing people walk through the streets, carrying their roller bags, family units for the most part, even walking into McDonald's, some of them. So certainly an issue that they're trying to prevent to be forced to do, but they really don't have an option at this point. They're kind of saying that this is the only option to kind of be proactive in a sense, because the levee's going to break out here, Nichole. Right now, what we're seeing is numbers that are well over 7,000 encounters in a week. The week prior, we were only at 6,000. So we're seeing increases by about 1,000 people a week. And so everyone here is bracing for the worst. Of course, this comes ahead of Title 42 ending and the Supreme Court keeping that in place.
Yeah, and we will be watching for the Biden administration's response to that Supreme Court stay. Okay, Allie, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.